The statements, thoughts, views, opinions of this podcast, as well as its various hosts and guests, are for entertainment and or historical purposes only. To be clear, this is not real. Do not take us serious. Any similarities to actual events are purely coincidental, and all statements related to said events should be treated as such. We do not condone the use of animals in any illegal activities or harm to animals in any way. Now enjoy the show. All right, good, man. So go. All right, man. So we're here with Amigo Kennels finally to get this interview that everybody's been asking for ever since that T Tray one. Everybody wanted to know who's Amigo Kennels. Get an interview with Amigo Kennels. I gotta ask 1,000 times this stuff. So we finally here. I caught up with Amigo Kennels, and we're just gonna sit there and go through a couple questions and stuff like that. Refer to the disclaimer in the front when for any of this nonsense, and we're gonna jump right into it. So all right, man, give me a name and tell me how long you've been in the dogs.
Us, man, Amigo Kennels. Been in the dogs or was active either or, man. I think 14, 15 years old. I'm almost 50 now. So that gives you an idea. You know, it's been a while.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, I took a stretch, a hiatus out of the dogs for a while, some other business, but uh, which I'm sure we'll get to in an interview or two.
All right, yeah, man. So I've heard a bunch of your stories. We've talked about stuff over the years for a long time, but you know, who brought you into the dog game?
Well, it was a combination of people, man. I just used to be a pooper scooper. I mean, I wasn't what you would call an active sportsman at a young age, like most of these guys say, on the internet they were doing and this and that. I'll keep it 100, man. It was definitely not that for me. Um, I grew up around L. Rogers, Danny Beeman, Dave Miller, Mr. Mosley. Uh, Too sweet. Um, oh man, there's just so many. Don Devine, Marion Strong, uh, man, just a plethora, man, of
Just a
old
whole bunch of
Florida.
old Florida,
Yeah,
old Florida
yeah,
dog man. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Terry Woods,
Like the guy that
just
had hand, right?
yeah, yeah. John Hand, which is in
Yeah,
prison now. He's been down for quite a while. John Hand, Hands, Candy. What was that other the male that he had, man, that really stood out in those cowboy pedigrees, man. They all used to, it's crazy because they used to all go into each other and they all bred together. You know what I mean? Like, Eunice's Rocky and them dogs, you know, uh, just man, a lot. I'll tell you what, a lot of good dogs, man. Back then, I haven't seen. There's only one person that stands out today that had dogs like that back then, and we'll I'm sure we'll talk about him later
so
on.
were you cool with you were cool with Mike Morgan? Was you cool with his uncle, the one that had Rhubarb and Babs
No,
and all that?
no, the rhubarb, no,
Yeah.
no, man, man. I wish I could have been around. Those guys were very quiet, man. Like very, very, very quiet. Um, they would come around for sure, but as far as like talkative and all that, no, not back then.
Yeah.
You're talking uh the '90s, and the '80s, late '80s, early '90s.
All right. So I know your mom was an old dog woman. She dealt with the birds too. So clearly, you came up under your mom and the people who she was with. So who were your mentors in the dogs?
I really, if I had to pick one, it was L. Rogers, man. He was an old Vietnam vet. Uh, Lived behind Mr. Mosley, um, Dave Miller. Those were my two. You know, like watching their dogs. I was like, damn, I want those dogs. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
so I kind of I just monkey see, monkey do. I did everything they did, and you know, it, people rub off on people, whether people like to admit it or not. I mean, say you get around a bunch of old Vietnam rednecks. Hell, you start talking redneck. Eventually, it happens. You
yeah,
sound country as fuck.
yeah.
So I mean, I stuck to them like glue, and um, you know, I had a passion for the birds for a long time too. Like, but never really gotten to that. That just kind of I liked them. You know what I mean?
So
But it
who
was
did your
too quick.
mom? Who was your mom? In the dogs with while you were younger? Because I know you heard Don Devine. You told me stories about a lot of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. Linda
So
Phillips.
let's go into
You
like the
know,
people that your mom was dealing with, and then how you came in under them guys and stuff like that.
well, you know how it was back then, man, was everybody just kind of got together and drank, and I mean, it's a bunch of old country folk, and
So give people an
you know,
idea of all the dog men that was in that area. Just
oh
run off
shit.
some stuff. So I know you were like in that area, like Don Devine. You had
Yeah,
Milkman. You had
yeah,
Sweet. You had
Milkman, Randy Goodman. Yep,
yeah,
yep,
Mike
yeah.
Morgan.
Mike Morgan was there, around there, in
So
that
talk
area.
about how you would like go from yard to yard and like really how far away these guys were. Because a lot of people are like when they see these names, right? When you see these names and stuff like that, people think of these like really upstanding, these guys that are just all this professional dogmen and stuff like that. Because from what they read, but from just being around them every day and like literally some of them walking from yard to yard and stuff like that. Talk about that.
Oh no, man, they were all within no shit, man, probably 15 minutes of each other.
Hmm.
The furthest one out being Don. I think it was like 45 minutes, and then him being the furthest out, but literally you could jump in a van with one of those guys, and you were just say Brooksville to Nobleton. That's 10 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
And in between, you had guys in between those
Right.
10 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
it was that close, man. And then when everybody got together, um, Dave Miller, man, he died while I was gone. So did L. Rogers. L. Rogers actually shot all his dogs, so nobody could get them. And that was all the old Midnight Cowboy divine crosses, like real divine stuff, not the shit you see out on the internet now. Nah,
All right,
it,
so
it,
name. So what are the best divine dogs you've seen? Because you was with the real guy. You was with Don, not
uh,
David.
uh, there was a
You was with
champion,
Don.
yeah, champion pale face. Nobody ever talks about that dog would bite you. He had a bowling ball size head. He'd bite you, and you would seize up. You'd see the other dog's eyes just like stuck and get big. Like, what the fuck is biting? You know what I mean? But that dog was a killer, stone cold killer. He hit you one time, man. That was it. That was it. You were done. Had the nerve to go into that dog. Uh, that dog, uh, uh, grand champion Satch. Um, Another Midnight Cowboy. Um, Cassius Clay Cross. Um, what's crazy is all them dogs would go with anything. It didn't matter what you bred them to. Back then, I don't know about now because I don't know if they've really screwed them dogs up. I couldn't even get the dogs like I had them back then, the same as they are now. The same they would be today. There's just no way because they're just not the same type of animal. Then you had Champion Wrangler. That was Dave Miller's dog. He had a couple champions on his yard at that time. Champion Wrangler was a rocker dog. Then you had Champion Lacey was a Sorrel's rocker dog, cross. And you had that Champion Shorty that he had. I think it was actually a Grand Champion before uh, before Dave died. Um, those dogs though, holy shit. That's all I can say. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people, the new age dog guys that get on the internet, and I always say the internet, man, because these people get on the internet and have absolutely no fucking idea what they're talking about. All
Yeah.
it is hearsay 100 times over.
Right.
100 people have told this story and it's been fabricated, 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 lie, 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 lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. Um, I do listen. I could say right now we could get on the internet and I could say, man, I just jumped off the moon and landed on Earth. There'd be that one dumbass that says, I seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I seen it. And
Yeah.
then it became the truth. It
Yeah.
became the
For
truth.
sure. For sure.
You know what I mean? It became the
Yeah.
truth.
That
That's
shit
why I don't
crazy.
even interact on the internet anymore, man. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
these people are morons, man. But no, those dogs, man. I wish there was some way to go back in time and not have made the mistakes I made, um, and just be able to put my hands on one to even breed it, just see if I could make another one.
What were the best dogs you saw back then off of those yards?
Oh man, brother, there's too many. Probably Satch, Satch.
How was he bred?
So, that was Bill Trumpler had bred the top side. That was Midnight Cowboy on top, coming through Thurman's Lumberjack, and then the Cassius Clay stuff on the bottom. But it was like pure Divine top, pure Midnight Cowboy on top, man, on top, and Cassius Clay on the bottom.
Hmm.
That dog, man, was just he was like a termite, man. He was
Yeah.
a termite. Just eat right through you, man. Like super smart, and it's almost like he couldn't get touched, man. I now I know why Don probably named that dog Cassius Clay, man, because the dog could really dance good. Stay out of
Yeah. Yeah.
trouble free. Be beating your ass the whole time. And then knock you off in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he would come out minimal dents and dings.
Hmm.
But
So,
I saw
go
what's
ahead.
that?
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I saw Wrangler go too. Kind of bred similar. Um, the rocker midnight cowboy type
How
dog.
old were you when you saw these dogs?
Oh, 20, uh, somewhere around 20 years old,
So
I'd
you were
say.
hanging over Devon's house and all them like when you were like 12.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And mostly back then though, it was the birds. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you'd see a couple, get-togethers, man, where they're just, testing their animals to see where they're at.
So how were those
And,
get-togethers, man? Who was at them get-togethers and how were
oh shit, man. I couldn't tell you how many, but I could tell you about the moonshine drinking.
they?
Man, there,
Yeah.
oh man, listen. Uh, I was in a place with this guy, and I was telling him about all, oh yeah, Chain Drive, Mr. Beeman's dog. Yeah, that was another good dog back then. Uh, they would literally, man, you'd look over, man, and I know you see like funny memes on TikTok or Facebook or people getting fucked up, pissing in their pants. No, this shit literally happened back then, and they're sitting around like it's all right, like it's normal. You know what I mean? Passing a doobie here and there. Yeah, man, fucking shit. I'd be looking at these
Like
motherfuckers.
literally pissy drunk.
Y'all pissy drunk. Yeah, man, running down their leg, drunk, right in their boot. Yep, yep. Catch
Yeah,
one of those fuckers in overalls with a big fucking wet spot on the front of their.
that's fucking madness.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, right? Yeah, man. It's crazy. I've done it. I'm guilty of it, man. But in my sleep.
Yeah.
not just sitting there having a conversation nonchalant, man. Hey, Jimbo, you over there pissing yourself? I, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, but yeah, man, just a lot of people, man. Like a lot of people would go to El Roger's house, man. He'd move all the furniture out, man. He had like this triple wide trailer out off of, I think it was, back then the roads weren't paved out in that area. It was all like lime, and shit, lime roads and shit,
Right.
dirt. Um, and then you had like Georgie Rodriguez lived back there. He was big into birds and the dogs too. And so a lot of people that on the internet don't know about like some of the really good dogmen that you don't hear about.
So
Like,
while you're here, man, shout some of them out, man. Since shout
oh yeah,
some of the real dog men out there that was bouncing around with these guys that they got quote unquote
um,
legendary, that was really busting it
uh,
out there and was really mixing it up in like in Florida, particularly
uh,
Central and South Florida for sure.
yeah, Jorge Rodriguez, man, bar none. He had a bunch of those divine dogs. That's probably why he was pretty unbeatable. Um, I never ever had to see him pick up game, which I'd like to touch on that too, man. Like a lot of people, oh, I leave my dog down, this and that. Uh, I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why they do that and they don't pick up is because they know their dog will not scratch game.
Yeah, for sure.
Just let's get honest here. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
All that you get that internet savvy bullshit that they try
yeah,
to pull. I ain't never picking up this and that. I'll tell you what, I'm guilty.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's really it's unsportsmanlike, man, because you'll
yeah,
never know what you have if you don't do that.
yeah.
You'll never
I
know.
agree. I agree with you
You
for
know what I
sure.
mean?
A lot of
And
people
especially
now.
if you got a breeding program, you damn sure want to.
We got,
If you're,
normally people that act like that, in my experience, they're not necessarily dog men, they're gamblers with dogs. There's a
yeah,
very big difference between a dog man and
exactly.
these
Yep.
gamblers out here that have a bunch of dogs. And normally
Right.
they fucking everything up, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
know a million of those guys, like in person, know them, and I just have to shake my head and be like, man, what the fuck are you doing, man? I mean,
Yeah.
why are you know what I mean? Like, why?
Yeah, yeah.
You know
They
what I'm
just said
saying?
it's no respect for the animals, only the dollar, and those type of people you really got to get out the dog. But like I said,
Right.
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, like Georgie Rodriguez, oh, Tony Wright.
Tony,
Tony
right?
Wright,
Yeah,
he's not in the dogs anymore. He's still a local, man. He's just a hardworking Christian guy now, family.
hmm
And he got snitched on by another guy, Brian Goodman. And yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, turn up now. Here we go.
well,
You
I
about
mean, hell, they're
you
running
about
all over the
17.
place, man.
You about 17 minutes
Yeah.
in now. Let's get to it.
Well, I mean, come on,
No, let's
call,
go. Let's go.
call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
That's a
let's
real
fucking
snitch.
get to it, bro.
That ain't none of these that ain't none of these fake snitches that
Yes.
hearsay shit. No, this
Yeah.
motherfucker snitched. He got people fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, but there's a lot of that going around
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways, man. Like people can't hold their mud, man. It's this generation of people, they think they're cooler than the breeze
Yeah.
until they know they're gonna be behind a wall somewhere for a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Then it's a different song and dance.
So who else? You got Tony Wright. Who else?
Yeah, let's see.
Who's the guy that used to roll with hand?
Not you're talking about Billy Sears.
I don't know,
I
man. You
think
know him. These are
I
your stories.
yeah, Billy Sears. He lived up in what was that? By Rayford,
Hmm.
that guy too. He was a prison guard. He was a prison guard, and that guy was he was pretty good, man. But I'll tell you what, the guys who are the best in the game. This is just my opinion from being all over, and I don't just hang out in the
Hmm.
The guys that are best in the game breed their own animals, and they have been doing it for generation after generation. Look at all the pedigrees that people fancy out here, right?
Yeah,
Oh, I got an Eli dog. Oh, I got this. Well, look at the generations of who bred it for 6, 7 generations so you can have the damn dogs,
yeah, yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
you could point out even Floyd. Yeah, we all hear stories about Floyd and this guy slipped this one in here and slipped that one in there. Let me tell you something. Do you think I'll tell you what Mr. Mosley told me. We were we were hanging out one weekend and this guy had called him and he said, "Man, Mr. Mosley, I really want my paperwork, this and that." He's like, "But son, I didn't sell you that dog." He
yeah,
says, "Yeah, you did." He said, "No, son, you sent the transporter, and that transporter didn't come here." That's another story down the road,
yeah,
for maybe him to tell you, but he said, he said, "Well, son, why do you want the paper so bad? Why do you want the paper so bad?" Man, because if he becomes good, he said, "There's your problem.
yeah.
If he becomes good." He said, now, son, I could give you that paper, and I could take this paper over here off this dog that I got, and we could both be in the corner, man, and we face them papers to the corner, and and
That
and,
sounds like
and,
sweet.
and
That sounds like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, that
clown,
sounds
man.
like
He's a
sweet.
fucking
Yeah,
clown.
yeah,
He's a clown, but I love him, man. And
yeah,
he said, and the referee could say, you know how you get that stutter? He
yeah,
could say, he could say, now face your papers, face your
yeah,
papers,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he said, now release. How far how
Yeah,
far do them
sweet,
goddamn
bro.
papers? Yeah, he said, how far do them goddamn papers get? They
I
fell,
know it.
they fell to the ground. It ain't,
Hey,
fuck, man.
so listen, every time you tell me a story, I keep laughing at thinking of we talk about all these dog men, but you always talk about that Tampa Tammy. Like, who is she? Because apparently she was whooping some dudes
Oh,
ass down there.
oh shit! I always forget about Tampa. Oh man, Tammy. She was one of the first persons I seen when I came out. You know who else I saw, and that turned out bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
We'll do that
uh,
on another part two. We'll do that
yeah,
on another
yeah,
part two.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Tammy had all the old divine stuff, man. She's a real pretty, nice black woman.
Hmm.
Which, by the way, she only dates white guys, so I had no play in either with you. So yeah, but man, so sweet. I met her through my mom, as a matter of fact, and
Hmm.
and um, Tammy, man, she didn't do an exorbitant amount of dogs, but I never seen her lose.
Yeah.
I never seen her lose. She would go into Merriam, my mom back in the day, um, uh, like
And
when
back
she
in the day,
brought,
when are we talking about? We talking about the 80s?
yeah, late 80s, early 90s.
Hmm.
Like you got to think it, buddy. Going into 2025, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes I got to look in the mirror, and I
yeah,
don't, I don't, I don't feel this old.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure. Yeah, I think we
you
all
know,
get like that though. You know.
you know, um,
Yeah.
you know. But it's good, man, because now over what the last what 10 years that I've been home. Hell, I've had to change my name quite a few times. Because of the other shit.
Yeah,
It just
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know.
but it's as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go see Tammy this week. Now
Yeah,
that I'm back around here.
yeah.
But man, what a good dog woman, man. Bro, listen, she used to hit them streets, man. Everybody want to talk about, oh, that mill, the email, this and that. Nah, bitch, get out there on the fucking
She
feet.
hand walk.
And, yep,
She
hand
pound
walking,
that. She pound that pavement. Ain't
and
nothing
we'll
better.
ground, yep, ground and pound your ass,
Yeah, yeah.
ground and pound your ass, man. Eh, but her dogs are coming strong, just real healthy. You know what I mean? And Um, yeah, Tampa Bay. Man, I'm glad you brought her up, man. You know, I don't. Do I have pictures? Did I ever send you pictures?
Nah, you never
Man,
sent me pictures, and like I never came across
yeah,
them. You know what I mean? Because apparently she's clearly out the dogs. So when
yeah, no.
yeah,
She's got a couple like pets.
yeah,
I had took my daughter over there, and she took pictures with Tammy's dog.
she
She's
ever go in the
still.
old man rep?
Oh, I'm sure she went into Pat. Yeah.
Hopefully we can talk to Pat and
Hmm.
see what he got to say about that. I would like to get Pat. I'd like to shoot an interview
Yeah,
with Pat.
yeah. That's a
Yeah,
that's a character, man. That's a
yeah,
character and
yeah,
a
yeah.
half right
And
there, man.
I need a picture of him too, man. I need a picture of him because people gotta put the voice with the picture. You know what
Oh
I'm
man, look at.
saying?
Hey,
Yo,
yeah. He's notorious for saying Joker. Look, that's a
yeah,
that's a
Joker,
funny
yeah,
ass. Yeah, that is a funny ass Joker right there, bro. You ever
yeah,
seen Fred Sanford when he wears the derby cap, like the little
yeah,
derby cap, and he got the big gray afro,
yeah,
hanging out all around it, man. And
yeah.
I don't, he's a fun,
That's why I
he's a
gotta get the
nice
picture,
guy, man.
man. If people can hear him, man, and see the picture, man. He's a
Yeah.
wealth of knowledge, man. I like to see what he say
Oh
about
yeah,
bones and
man.
all, man. Yeah,
Oh,
I fuck.
bro, yeah. Listen, man. He had Champion Concrete. He had, Grand Champion Cooper. Listen, I told you I used to try to get those dogs from him back in the day because I
Yeah,
seen those dogs too, man. Those dogs weren't no slouches.
right.
They were nice. They were nice animals, right? And so I went away for all them years, and and then when I came home, he just happened to be at Mosley's house.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, wow, what are the odds, man? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and I really kind of got into him. I was like, hey, man, you know what, man? I'm pretty fucking pissed all these years later. He's like, oh, but Jake, what, you know,
yeah,
man, it's kind of fucked up, man. I said, because you don't even have the shit no more.
yeah,
Everybody fucked your dogs off. I said, at least if I would have had it, my mom would have had it while I was gone. Somebody would have had
yeah,
it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Somebody would have had the shit because
Yeah,
I still
it's a
have.
lot of fake pads with bones in them and stuff like that out there. Breeds
Oh
that
yeah,
never
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Never
people don't
happened,
understand
man.
when you see bones in them, like in them pedigrees. A lot of them breeds never even happen. Like that's not what you have.
I know.
But that's a
Well,
whole.
look at what they did with Tita. Look,
Yeah,
go to Tita's offspring list. Jesus Christ, are
yeah,
you fucking kidding me? Like these
yeah,
motherfuckers really own these dogs, putting their last name on it, this and that. And man,
yeah.
get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, if I can
You
get a
know what?
hold if I can get a hold to the old man, I'll let him tell that story.
Yeah. I'm sure you would be able to catch them, man. You just got to catch them outside the casino,
Yeah,
man.
I'll catch him outside somewhere. Um,
You know.
so let me ask you this: what? So this is all your background. What blood did you start with? What did you come in the game with, and how
Believe
did
it
that
or
work?
not, a lot of people will laugh, man. I started with the Vetel dogs. Believe it or not.
Vessel. Okay.
Yep. And they were crossed again with the divine stuff,
Hmm.
and I had got I think the first two set of dogs that I got because really I could have probably got them from the old man, you know what I mean? But I wanted to define myself in a different way, I guess you could say. Like
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to take what they had, which they all went to each other with any fucking way, and just see who got the better of it,
Yeah.
like the way that they bred it. Well, I wanted to start with my own with the divine twist. Because to me, those were the best dogs back then. And um, so James had did a breeding. It was that the Dracula dog,
James who?
James Vetzel.
Yeah, I'm just letting people know because you know.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry. I know
yeah,
you know, but
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
you know, I liked. Okay, so my cousin Chino had a pure Drac dog, the Dracula stuff, right?
Hmm.
And there was a chick. Oh, that was another dog woman too, Amber Guess, uh, that was married to a guy named Jose that had, done this crosses with the divine stuff and the Drac stuff.
Right.
And I got to see their dogs go, both sides, because
Right.
Tino was really doing dogs before my time, you
Hmm.
know, and so I was like, I talked to Amber. I said, Amber, she looked at me crazy when I said this too, because my grandfather, birds and dogs, my mom, birds and dogs. I said, well, would you guys sell me one of those puppies? Because I happened to be over there. I was there with L. Rogers' stepson and his biological son.
Hmm.
Um, and she looked at me like, motherfucker, how high are you? Because I used to get high back then. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like she
yeah,
looked at me like with the one eye all the way up and
yeah.
and
The big
and the
eyebrow.
side, yeah, and the
She
side
gave you
face.
that
You know what I
the
mean?
rock look and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
was like, so I'm thinking in my head as soon as she does that, yeah, that was a quick no. You know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? But she said, I don't know. Let me ask Jose and Jose. Oh man, Rosie, watch your tail. And I bought one, and then he gave me a female. I bought a male, and he gave me a female.
Hmm.
And that dog, the female, you know, I know. I took her out 3 times, and I won 3 times.
Hmm.
Okay, I went into Efren's Bits Champion Sierra. Efren just happened to live, he had a girlfriend that lived actually down here in Florida, and he was always around. And that was closer to Orlando, Central Florida, and Polk County. And oh, you had Jason Skidmore lived right there, old black dude named Yellow. Remember, I told you I wish I could find him,
Yeah,
but we all got together. We all got together, man. Um, I grew up poor, so I didn't have no mill. I didn't have none of that shit. I had a bicycle and I had sneakers.
yeah,
And uh, the only thing back then, a lot of people use roids now, and they use all this high tech medicine and all this shit. Well, it wasn't like what people experience these days, on these, groups and shit hooking into each other and all this
yeah,
crazy nonsense that goes on. Um, um, a lot of people would say, "Oh, well, that wasn't legit. You didn't go under no big name." No, motherfucker, we just wanted to do dogs, right?
yeah,
That's what it comes down to. You got the same weight, you got the same weight, and
yeah.
I mean, it's a like that now, but not here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. I
just,
mean, you play around on this side. You know,
yeah,
it is
you're
what it
playing
is.
with
It
fire.
is what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, it is what
yeah.
it is.
So, so, uh, the brother didn't really, he wasn't all that great. You know what I mean? But I mean, I kept him around anyways, man, because he never quit.
Hmm.
He would keep coming, man. You just have to kill him. And but the bitch though, Jada, I think I didn't know if I ever sent you pictures of her, man. That was my favorite dog, man. Like
Hmm.
that, she was like untouchable, man. Danced the walls, you know what I mean? Like just, she was
Hmm.
real. She was crafty, man. She was, man. You know, yeah, man. It's just a different time. It's just a different time back then, man.
So I know you had
Sometimes.
to. I know you had to sit down for a minute, and you know,
Oh
after
yeah.
that time, you couldn't get none of them dogs. You know, them dogs are all gone.
Mm-mm. They
So
were all gone. I don't know where they went either, man. Like I don't imagine that Dave would have killed all his dogs. He probably sold them, and people probably paper hung off of them,
yeah,
especially like the pure rocker dogs. I did all those breedings for him before I left.
all the breeders with the low shocker.
Yeah, yeah, all the inbred Deloach rocker stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. It's funny, man, because I asked Dave one day. I said, man. I said, bro, you sure you want to make another inbreeding, man? It's like three generations of fucking inbreedings this guy wanted
Right.
to do, man, right? Bro, these dogs had dew claws on their fucking rear ends.
Yeah, it was
I
getting
shit
tight.
you not.
It was getting
That's a
tight.
real story. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. I looked at him. He's like, yeah, just cut him off with toenail clippers. I was like, what the fuck, man? This is fucking dude, man. But yeah, it's. I forgot what you just asked me, man. You asked me something.
No, because I was saying like you had to sit down for a minute, and you
Oh
couldn't get none
yeah,
of them dogs no more.
no,
So
I
like
couldn't.
you couldn't get any of the old blood that you were familiar with that you grew up with that everybody around you was really fucking with. So now uh we're going to talk into the person that you ran into, but for right now, we'll get into that at another part. But for right now, what
Yeah.
blood are you using now? Why are you using it? And what are the better dogs that you currently have?
Um, I'm using the champion Mike. I attribute it not the champion Mike, but the little Rosie and the shorty doo wop stuff.
Yeah,
Um, these these dogs, from what I've experienced, this is just me. Um, a couple others are experiencing the same things that have them. Um, no matter what, they're coming. There hasn't
yeah,
been one that has quit yet.
hmm
Um, and 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 that's saying a lot, man, because most dogs, if we want to all get honest, and and, and I know there's going to be a couple people that hear this, and those are they're going to be like, man, I've been dishonest so many times, talking my
Hey,
dog
did your
down.
earpiece go out?
No, it shouldn't have. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just went low a little bit.
Oh, it's probably the satellite I'm on an island right
All
now.
right, yeah, okay.
Uh, uh, most people, I'll speak up a little bit. Most people have been so dishonest with their dogs that when 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 they hear this, me saying that mine won't quit. I've the high output on them. You got to put them 6 feet under, man, because they're going to continue to come. Now, you know, mouth rate, yeah, some only have five, some got an eight. You know of one that had an above average over 10, and she was picked up then. And, you know, both parties lost their dogs afterwards, man, in short time. Uh, you know, I use these now, and, you know, I'm retired and only just breeding to keep the line going. Um, how I acquired them, I caught a guy with their pen, as usual. And I don't wish no ill will on nobody, but um, and I know usually what do they say? Anything after but is bullshit, but really I don't wish any ill will. But I'm glad that it happened the way it did. I've suffered a lot behind it, but uh, you know, I'm glad that the one thing I can say about the guy is he did keep his word. If this bitch that I started,
Hey, try to talk into your mic a little more. I think you're kind of low.
how about now? How about now?
That's a little better, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why it's just probably bad service.
No, that's cool.
Um, you know, the this bitch be a daughter of a champion Spanky POR to a bitch named Champion Chacon. And these guys used to talk her up, talk her up, talk her up. As soon as I got her, she's a third. Yeah, go figure, man. Right? Oh
Yeah.
man, it's just because the guys don't like me. It's just because I never put up with shit. I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? Get in the fucking thing. Or, you know, uh, but I use these, and no matter what she's been bred to,
hmm
good quality dogs, good quality. Like yet. Um, and I will continue to breed them, and um, it crosses best. She was a half sister to Miss Blondie, who was bred to two today, that produced, really good out of one litter. Uh, um, it's they're just good all around dogs. For me, they're unique, because I've seen so many dogs that are not new, they're not unique. They might have one certain trait, and that's all they're good for. You know,
Yeah.
the, 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 the shorty doo wop, big red, not schoolboy big red, but
Triple H.
what's the Triple H, right?
Yeah.
These dogs are pretty versatile, man. I was talking with a really, 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 who I really respect. We were riding through the Andes Mountains. Um, he looked over. He says, "Man, what are your favorite kind of dogs?" And this is just ought to give you an idea how much I'm still learning after all these years, which everybody could really use, to always evolve. You know what I mean? Get out of a certain way of
Yeah.
thinking. And I said, well, man, me, I love stifle dogs. That's just me. He
Yeah.
said, no, no, no. He's like, you know, what would you really, really, really want in a dog? And I was like, I'm trying not to say something stupid. You know what I mean? Because I really respect this guy. He's like, how about a dog that takes and stays in a preferred hole. And I was like, this is a scientific motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got it now. Looking back, this is a couple years ago when we were taking a ride through that mountain range. You know, now I understand. Now I understand because a dog that pops out a hole to go here and then goes over here, pops out a hole, goes over there. That's
Yeah.
not really the quality is good because he's staying there at least, right? But you know, uh, you have to think, you know, a dog that's staying in the same spot is doing the most damage. You know, you know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, that's just food for thought. I don't even know why I went on that still, um, but these dogs here that I have, they're versatile, man, and they don't come up. They don't once they once they got you where they want to get you, they're there. You know, um, and they know how to stay out of trouble. I like that too. That's a good quality. A dog that really can stay out of trouble. A lot of people don't even know that. They think, "Oh, my dog goes. My dog goes." That, man, I bet you this, your dog won't go over there across that border and get nowhere. And I bet you that. You know, most people won't leave their backyards. You know,
Yeah.
so
So so what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap it up right here. We almost been on here almost 45 minutes. So we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna do a part two. Part two, we're gonna talk about your Rosie dogs. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh
yeah,
the dogs that you were really affiliated with that have a big name now, stuff like that. A lot of the champions and things like that that you had your hands on, stuff like that. And then we're gonna just then we're gonna go into the background of uh of some of the dogs.
okay, yeah,
You,
yeah.
you know what I mean? We'll run into that. But yeah, man, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And
All
I'll
right,
get back with you in a few.
all right. Thank you,
All
thank
right,
you.
brother. Later.
All right.
Peace.